Okay, everybody ready to go to work? Town of Orangetown Planning Board of April 15th is now in session. Please rise for pledge allegiance. It's on. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. All right, the first item on the agenda is 4 Salisbury Place Site Plan PB 26-05. Please step up and sign in the record, please, and tell the stenographer your name.
David Ross, ROSS. Great, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Turn your microphone on, please. The little button, yeah, when it goes green, you're good. Okay, thank you. Push yours.
The closer to you, the better.
Okay.
Good, I can leave mine off.
All right. So my name is Sarah Murray. I'm with Dominic Pilla Associates, here to present the application for 4 Salisbury Place. We were previously in front of the board at the February 25th meeting. So I'll just give a brief kind of refresh in terms of the project scope. So the application is for the construction of a new pool in the rear yard, some associated terracing areas around the pool, and retaining walls associated with the construction of that terrace. We're proposing to install a Coltec to offset the additional runoff from the added impervious areas. It's roughly, I think, 900 square feet of added impervious area. So that's been sized to fully retain up to the 25-year storm. There's a small amount of overflow for the 100-year storm. We've received the latest comments from the building department, from the reviewing engineer, and from the Department of Engineering and Environmental Management. So we're working on those revisions. They seem to be mostly minor comments. I don't think any of the changes that are required to respond really change the substance of the scope of work. So we're hoping to get conditional approval, pending final review by all those agencies.
Okay, let me go through the consultant's report.
Mm-hmm.
You have a letter from Orangetown ZBA, signed Rick Oliver, dated March 16th, and there's 3 comments. I have another letter from Orangetown DME, Bruce Peters, dated April 13th. He has 9 comments. I have a letter from Orangetown Fire Prevention Bureau, dated March 30th. They have no comment. Another letter from Orangetown Drainage Consultant, Winston Sampson, dated March 26th. Approval with 5 comments. I have a letter from Rockland County Department of Planning, dated March 13th. This is outside of our jurisdiction, no comments. I have a letter from Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, dated March 30th, 2 comments. I have another letter from Rockland County Center of Environmental Health, dated February 24th, with 1 comment. I have an email from the applicant from Rockland County Environmental Health, mosquito control, dated March 24th, 2026. I have another email from Oregon Rockland, Alpha Gaddy, March 17th, 2026, 1 comment. There's no conflict. And we have quite a few other letters that were already read in, so I won't go down the list. Okay. Andy, questions or comments?
I don't have any questions at this time.
Thank you very much. Mike, questions or comments?
Just one question. Where did I put the paper? Okay, the DEME number 2, have you spoken to them regarding the soil testing? Has it started up yet?
We have spoken with them. Our understanding is that they do not need to come and review it. We had spoken to them to indicate we had already done the testing. There was a miscommunication as to them needing to come out. He indicated moving forward, we need to make sure that we communicate with them to have them come out, but it didn't seem that it was necessary for them to come out again, since the testing has already been done.
Okay, but you're gonna have to have them put it into their comments.
Will do,
Because right
yep,
now, it's number 2, they mentioned the soil tester.
Yep. yep,
That's
understood.
the only thing I have. Thank you.
very much. Matt, anything?
No comments.
Bruce, anything? No, I don't think so. Matt, anything? Okay, motion to open to the public?
Motion to open public portion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? None? Anybody from the public wish to speak on this project? One more time, anybody from the public wish to speak on this project? Hearing none, a motion to close?
Motion to close public portion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? None? Motion for, do we have to reaffirm SEQA or?
Yeah.
Did you do secret yet?
Oh,
I don't
we
think
didn't do
so.
it? Okay,
Motion for lead.
agent?
Motion for lead agency.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? None? Okay, motion for neg deck?
Motion for neg declaration.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Motion for final with conditions?
Motion for final with conditions.
And the conditions are, Orangetown, Rick Oliver, March 16th letter. Orangetown, Bruce Peters, April 13th. Got 13 comments. Orangetown Fire Prevention, March 30th, no comments. Orangetown Drainage Consultant, March 24th, no comments. Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, March 30th, 2 comments. Rockland County Health, April 13th, 1 comment. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong darn thing. Please forgive me. I think they were all basically the same. Okay, Orangetown ZBA was March 16th, was 3 comments. Orangetown DEME, April 13th, 9 comments. Orangetown Fire Department, March 30th, no comment. Orangetown Drainage Consultant, March 26th, approval with 5 comments. Rockland County Department of Planning, March 13th, outside our jurisdiction. Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, March 30th, 2 comments. And Rockland County Health, February 24th, 1 comment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? None? You got your final. Good
All
luck.
right.
Thank you.
Wanna-
Thanks, everybody. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Just remember, you can't start any work until all the conditions are,
Got it. So I gotta put my shovel away until then? Yeah.
that's it.
Thanks.
Take care, good luck.
Thank you very much. Okay, next is, where are we? Okay, 228 South Boulevard Site Plan, PB 25-36.
I signed June, don't I? I signed June.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Mike Calisi, 41 East Nourishon Avenue, Pearl River, New York.
Don Brennan, 4 Independence Avenue, New York. Yes, sir.
Okay, we've been before the board several times on this particular project. This is a project which came from the village of South Nyack. Oh, okay, this was a project that came from the village of South Nyack many, many years ago. The primarily South Nyack had accepted the roads, South Nyack had accepted the water system. In fact, the water system is operated and by the Village of Nyack Water Company. Primarily, what we're here for today is 4 lots, which we've been before you, because we like to get this project moving, and primarily that's it right now. I think we can consolidate all 4 lots into one hearing, because most of the comments are pretty much the same. If there are anything different, it would come out, but I think if we take one, it should be equal to all 4 of the facilities.
I don't see a problem with having a hearing so everyone speaks about them all, but when you vote, you should vote individually on each.
Yeah, okay.
So, when I go through the project comments, I'm gonna go through all of them?
That's actually a good point, because there may be some minor differences.
We've kind of gone through it, they're pretty much all the same.
Mr. Brenner, if I can ask you, all the comments are exactly the same for each house?
I think there's a couple of different ones.
Yeah.
You know what?
Lee?
No, there are, they're different comments for each.
Okay, so
Let's
probably,
leave it with
They're not-
4 right now.
Okay,
Okay, I don't think it's gonna take that much longer. Okay, let me go through the, project comments.
which one do you want us,
228,
228, yeah.
okay, good.
all right? Okay, first letter I have, Orangetown ZBA to the Oliver dated March 16th, he has 6 comments. Another letter from Orangetown DME, Bruce Peters, dated April 13th, 13 comments. Letter from Orangetown Fire Prevention, March 30th, they have 1 comment. Orangetown Drainage Consultant, March 24th, approved with no comments. Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, March 30th, 2 comments. Rockland County Center for Environmental Health, dated April 13th, 1 comment. I have an email from Edja. I'm gonna get in so much trouble.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, anyway, it's dated April 15th, 2026. I have another email from Declan Zimmerman, dated April 14th, 2026. I have another email from Katja, again, with exhibits dated April 12th. And I have an email from Jerry Loti, dated April 12th. Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Andy, questions or comments?
So,
And turn your mic on, please.
so have you worked everything out between Orangetown and South Nyack, where South Nyack gave you the permission to go ahead, and there was no evidence of that anywhere? Do you finally have all of that?
Okay,
I believe it was for all 4 lots, we had problems with that?
my client never got anything with the Village of South Nyack. The Village of South Nyack had this project way before my client purchased the property, okay? My client purchased the property when it was already dedicated over to the town of Orangetown. So we came here to the town of Orangetown. There was mechanics as to where we had to appear to get the approval to build the lots. In fact, in the subdivision over there are many homes that are there right now. People are living there right now. My client then went forward and he says he wanted to do these first 4 lots. The board said we'd like to see certain things. That's why we went back. It got surveyed. It got shown to the consultant, and we pretty much met the objects or items that the board wanted. So we're really here now to try to get these 4 lots moving.
Okay, so that's all been settled?
Well, I don't know when you say settled. I don't see where we had a problem.
Well, if you mean the issue of the ownership of the roads, we completely did a title search on it. We searched all the deeds. We found all the deeds. We're concerned with the roads. concerned with the conservation, sewer easements, and so forth. We made a copy, we presented that at a PRC meeting to the town. The issue with the drainage on the original subdivision, except for two lots, lots 17 and 18, they need drainage work to be calculated for them. The other lots were all considered part of the drainage, the basin at the bottom of the subdivision. So we've addressed all the concerns between the South Nyack and the Orangetown that we're aware of. The only issue that would be outstanding, if it was an issue, would be the bond that was put up in South Nyack, or the letter of credit that was put up in South Nyack. And the applicant has agreed to top the roads, top Willow and Barachin, because those are the roads that are remaining that are still binder and not the wearing course.
Okay, I don't have anything further right now at this moment.
Thank you. Mike, question, comments?
Okay. At the planning board meeting on January 14th, Building Department 8 noted that the landscape plan was incomplete. Did not show the trees to be removed, marked with an X, or show all the trees that will remain. Is there a reason for that?
The trees are shown on this submission on the landscaping plan to be removed.
Oh.
Yeah, they are, because right here you can see there's an X across the 22-inch maple. As we brought up another...
Maple is a new tree you're putting in,
No,
and
no,
it's crossed out.
it's Xed out. It's an existing tree.
Where's all the other trees?
These lots have been clear cut. We brought pictures into the previous meeting that showed that they topped all these trees. This lot right here, lot 1, in the center of the lot, you have it's gotta be a 48-inch
Oh, yeah, that I know, right.
They
It was.
just completely clear cut that tree. And the worst is, at the meeting, a young lady had brought up that one of the uphill neighbors, not anybody that appeared from what she had said, had went here and he must have clear cut these trees, because you look at this development, all the trees are essentially just topped, and they didn't even leave bottom branches so that the tree would survive.
Okay.
So the surveyor went out there, and he's located all the remaining trees that are pretty much still alive. Like I said, is when you look at if you look at lot 1 or lot 2, you'll see a lot of wood laying on the ground, and that's from them topping the trees.
Okay, so you're gonna be removing the maple?
That's the only tree that's gonna be affected that we're gonna have to remove, correct?
Okay, what new landscaping are you gonna put on the property?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, there's also, over here on the south side, there's a 14-inch maple that's gonna get,
Okay, yeah, it's part of the 14
All-
over there, it's now,
then all these
now
symbols
13.
right here, the WRs, oh my gosh, the Es, the Ks, the GMs, right, they're in accordance with
There's 1K, there's 1 CC, 2 GMs.
Yep, and the reason being is we didn't want to load up the neighbors with a lot of trees. Some of these are the street trees that are required by code.
What shrubbery are we gonna add to it? What plantings are we gonna add on the property? Nothing?
Well, the WRs are a shrub, right? So-
WRs are the western red cedar.
Yep, western red cedars.
They're 8 foot high. One's
To
dead, the
screen
other.
the neighbors, correct. So that's the extent to the landscaping. I guess they didn't want to put in a lot of shrubbery.
Are you adding any?
To me, I'm not adding any. It's shown on the landscaping plan. If you want us to add some, of course, we can add trees.
There should be some in the back there, because that's all fill in the back, because you're gonna be putting a retaining wall.
Well, we got the retaining wall, but beyond that, we're gonna try and keep the natural grade as much as possible.
But the area going up to the retaining wall, any trees or any plants or any shrubberies along there, or anything at all, nothing?
As of right now, nothing's proposed. Because also you have the sewer easement, so you didn't want to plant on the sewer easement.
Yeah,
so you-
right.
You have the
Okay.
limited space between the wall and
Okay.
the sewer easement.
All right, now you show the block retaining wall
Mhm.
with a height of 3 feet on page 6 or 7. Is that gonna be a constant height throughout, or is that going to vary?
Let me see what 6 or 7 is. That would, the wall heights will vary as required to meet the grade.
Okay, that should be shown then on the,
Well, there's a grading plan that
plan.
shows the elevations.
of each of the walls?
The grading plan show, because of how close the contours are, there are top-of-wall elevations expressed. And then the contours hit the bottom.
Oh, wait,
Like I said, as you can see, it's a little busy.
Yeah, what page
Just
is
try-
that on?
This is sheet 3.
Okay.
It's the grade, well, I'm sorry, that's the erosion control plan. You should go 2, excuse me. So if you look on sheet 2, right, like I said, you can see the steepness of the lot.
Yeah,
pretty
no,
close to the
it shows,
contours, right?
it shows the wall, but is it gonna vary, is it gonna be more than 3 feet anywhere?
It's gonna vary, because right here, as you see, the contour line hits the wall, each one of them's 2 feet, so the wall's gonna step down and then come around. So it's gonna be higher at the low end and lower at the high end.
Right, but how many feet are we talking about, the maximum height on the wall?
Well, the maximum height, right now is about 12 feet in the worst spot.
12 feet? Gotta be shown on the plans.
Well, like I said, it is expressed by the grades, we just,
Yeah, no, but it's, the retaining wall's gotta show the heights. It was, you know, varying at 3 feet, but when you get to a 12-foot one, okay? That's my opinion on it. The board agrees with me.
I'm sorry, it's 7 feet, it's not 12.
Still 7, right, okay. It should show. Okay. And the other thing was on the plans, they were supposed to show the driveways opposite 228 and 214 on the west side of the street.
There were no driveways opposite,
There were none?
none.
There are some driveways there.
There are driveways, but
But it should show.
like I said, there was a surveyor that went out. He located this, he found the stairs, utility poles, the fire hydrants, but he didn't give me any driveways on the opposite side of the street.
Okay.
But of course, I can check that, that's not a problem.
Yeah. Okay, nothing further at this time, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Question, comments? No. Bruce, question, comments? Rick Oliver said note 1-53. Final approval?
Oh, he's talking about the original subdivision plat. He's saying there's 53 notes. And if you look, what we did, we took any note that was applicable. And of course, I can add a 22nd note that just says must conform to all notes of the original subdivision. So, but the only note that I found that was applicable was note number 42, which is my note number 21. All new homes shall be equipped with whole house sprinkler systems with hardwired automatic fire alarms. That's straight off of the first subdivision plat approval.
Matt? Anything else? You said you wanted. Not at this point. Okay. Motion to open up to the public?
Motion to open public portion.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None? Okay. We open it up to the public. One at a time, come up. You have 3 minutes. Do me a favor, after you speak, so we can just move on. We want everybody to be heard. After you speak, come in and just sign the sheet that you spoke and then go sit down. But speak before you sign it. And come, your order, whatever you want to do, whoever gets up there first.
You want them to sign this?
No, they don't sign
Please
it.
name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Idlewhite. Jerry with a J, last name is Ilowite. I live at 558 Mountain View Avenue in Valley Cottage. I was the last chair of the South Nyack Planning Board, and I was a member of the planning board throughout the approval of the original subdivision. I think my number one concern is the public infrastructure. The original subdivision plan required certain improvements to be made, including the detention basin and certain off-site improvements on College Ave, for example. It's not clear to me whether those have been completed as yet. But for example, the detention basin several years ago failed. It overflowed, washed mud and rocks down into 9W. It was the owner at the time then did come and clean that up. But we don't know how that's been maintained since. And before it's dedicated to the town engineering department should make sure that it is in a condition to be accepted by the town before that is done. Okay. The off-site improvements as well, it's not clear to me whether somebody needs to check to see whether the off-site improvements that were required have been completed. To that end, when the subdivision was originally approved, as a condition, there was a sequencing of development that was to be followed. That's on sheet 36 of the approved subdivision plan. It seems like that sequence was not adhered to over the years. And in fact, certain lots, even though the planning board continued to approve site plans, no building permits and COs were not to be issued except after the public infrastructure was completed, but they were issued anyway. I believe this town should go back, take a look at that sequencing, and make sure that all the other items are completed certainly before any COs are issued for any more site plans. In addition to the original subdivision plan, the subdivision was amended subsequently, and that's called the grading and house location plan. That is an amendment to the original approved subdivision plan, and the resolution of approval of that was dated September 8th, 2008. That introduced additional conditions that I believe are still required to be enforced, and I believe you folks should look over that and see how that's done. And particularly because that addressed about the stormwater management. The original subdivision plan, the stormwater system that was put into place was a very well-designed system, I believe. But then when it came time to grading, the developer found that it would have been easier to develop multiple lots at the same time, ones that were adjacent to each other. So that was reviewed, SECR was followed on that, and that was approved. These plans now seem to deviate from that plan. I don't believe there's actually anything really wrong with.
Actually, 3 minutes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Now you can sign it. Okay, next. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. Kathy Gallione, 234 South Boulevard. Sure, Gallione. Good evening. I am here, and I'd like to talk about 234 South Boulevard's proximity to 228. I have similar concerns that I've brought to the board in the past, which is that I feel like the house that is being proposed is ill-fitting. It's too large of a footprint. It will have too much fill that's going to raise the house up, which will make drainage issues and erosion and flooding exacerbated. I'm also concerned about the placement of the house. I know there's not a traditional driveway across from 228, but there are driveways very close by. It's the pinch point for South Boulevard. Since the new bridge has gone in, the traffic has increased tremendously as it's become a traditional boulevard when it used to be just kind of a sleepy boulevard. But it's a danger kind of waiting to happen if there were extra housing put there. But I'm mostly concerned about the drainage, the erosion, the fact that it's going to be kind of crammed in. The houses to the left and to the right of it are going to suffer in terms of drainage and erosion. And those are my comments tonight. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Sign it, please. Yes? Address, please.
Sharon Bailey, 225 South Boulevard. I'm Bailey. I'm directly across from 214. I'm going to make very short comments here tonight because I have papers for you. First, though, I wanted to say that I searched the planning board minutes, and from that January the 14th meeting, I don't see any comments from the people from South Boulevard and College Avenue who were here telling you what the problems were that they had with the project. So I didn't know, is it because it was continued, or?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because I didn't find any comments. Okay, thank you. Okay, I prepared a request for a formal traffic study on 214 and 228 South Boulevard. I've also asked for a formal reevaluation of the description of the conservation easement, if such exists. I hope you will read these and consider the arguments I've made, and if at all possible, come to the site and see for yourself what I'm talking about. So I have copies for, I'm sure the attorney needs it. Chairman.
Give them everything down there,
Give them everything?
please.
Okay.
Are you done speaking?
Pardon?
Are you done speaking?
Yes, okay.
Thank you
I
very
said I was
much.
gonna keep it short. I'm not gonna talk on 214 because I just did.
Okay.
Anyone else wish to speak on this? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Maria Daggett, Daggett. I live at One Lowland Drive in South Nyack. So my request is somewhat generic because I am downwind from every construction that goes on in College, South Boulevard, and everywhere between. We have experienced on our run of 9W residents, awful water, awful traffic. So my request is that when you are considering placing homes or removing trees and/or relocating how this mountain goes, that you take into care and see what happens down the way of that mountain, because what happens on top affects what is, in essence, our homes, our land, and water goes where it wants to go, regardless of your your attempt to make it really work. And I think that there has been too much construction and movement of earth, and it needs to be addressed. That's one. And two, traffic. We have suffered since that bridge went in. 9W is beautiful. The roads are great, and they did a great job. But it has affected how we even just walk up the street. And by the addition of more homes in places that really aren't meant to have massive construction, it really affects what happens down on the bottom. So please don't make any decisions until you've gone all the way down. That's what we ask for. Right. That's it.
Ma'am, excuse me.
I'm so sorry.
Let the other lady sign this. Then you.
No, you spoke.
This way we have the order. Anybody else wish to speak on this? One more time, anybody else wish to speak on this project?
Move to close public portion. Second.
All in favor? Opposed? None. Just in respect to you, why don't you go to the building department and sit down with them, being that you were on the prior planning board, and give them whatever information you have, and let them incorporate it and work it out with them, okay?
Yeah, no, I have been conversing, and I did meet with Mr. Oliver and Mr. Kohler. And I just want to make sure that you folks have those communications as well.
Thank you very much.
And, Mr. Chairman, I guess,
July 8th and July 18th.
and in particular, I did have the opportunity to go through with Audrey, and we did find the September 8th, 2008 resolution, which did make modifications to the final subdivision plan. I believe Audrey said you all have a copy of that? It's a several-page document.
Yes.
So it would be appropriate to make those conditions as well
I
as,
believe that was read in the last meeting.
okay.
I don't think I have it specifically. You want to just read it in for this one for good measure?
Does that document include what's, what parcels? Is that for all of them, or?
Just my briefly looking through it, I think it includes all parcels. There's quite a few whereas clauses and other things. But I would include all of the numbered requirements. I think that would be appropriate.
Okay.
We're referring to a document from the Village of South Nyack Planning Board. It's a resolution of approval of drainage plan and house location signature on it, which I have no idea, it's from Chairman Massey, I'm not sure. It was dated, August 19th, 2009. Okay, there was a voting in the back, roll call. Chairman Massey, aye. Mr. Schwartz, aye. Mr. Whitehurst, no. Mr. Kenya, no. Ms. Starr, aye. Yes. 14 items? No, 15 items.
And then just one other thing, there's been some mention of conservation easements. There actually was appropriately filed conservation easements, which spells out the terms of the conservation easement. And that has been filed with the county clerk, and they're officially filed and applicable to all of these site plans.
So it doesn't say whether, if it was filed with the county clerk or not. It was just a resolution, so we don't know if it was filed.
No, I'm talking about the conservation easement was filed.
Oh, okay.
The conservation,
I'm just saying, this resolution.
this did not have to be filed with the county. But it was filed with South Nyack Village Clerk.
You can keep that. I have an extra copy if you want it.
So then the applicant has this letter from September 8th, 2008.
I don't know if they had it originally, but I guess the former chairman of the South Nyack Board provided it to us, and I made sure that it was, because just because we had a draft doesn't mean that it's official, but Audrey did ensure that it was signed and it was filed. So it is an official resolution of the South Nyack Planning Board.
What are we gonna do? Motion for lead agent? Motion for lead agency. Do I have a second? I'll second. Favor? Aye. Opposed? None? Motion to make that? Motion to make that. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Against? None? Good. Motion for preliminary with conditions?
Could I,
Preliminary, rather. Yep.
we would like to follow the concept. We actually brought the design of the houses and we brought the material. We would like the planning board to act as Akabor, which they have a right to do, because that's how South Nyack did it. And we're asking the planning board to act as Akabor so that we can move the project. We have the house, we have the design, we have the material.
The board. Andy, we want to, do you want to back a board and approve the house, or let them go to the board?
Like Mr. Brennan said, that South Nyack didn't have Akabor, they didn't have to do it, but we have Akabor. I feel that, they should go through the Akabor process.
Mike?
I agree with Mr. Andrews, go through the Akabor process.
Matt? Agreed. Bruce? Matt?
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you, sir. Oh, let me go through the conditions. Letter from Rick Oliver dated March 16th, 6 comments. Orangetown DME, Bruce Peters, April 13th, 13 comments. Orangetown Fire Prevention, March 30th, 1 comment. Orangetown Drainage Consultant, March 24th, approved with no comments. Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, March 30th, 2 comments. Rockland County Environmental Health, April 13th, 1 comment.
Mr. Chairman, I would also include the South Nyack Planning Board resolution dated September 8th, 2008.
Yeah. Also,
2008, 2009.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. That might be a typo, I guess.
Which I don't understand, but anyway. Village of South Nyack Planning Board resolution for drainage and grading plan and house location, plan for final subdivision plat, which was dated September 8th, 2009, and it has a date here of August 19th, 2008, September 8th, 2008. And it was, we have a signature on it, it was August 19th, 2009. So I think that is correct, because it was signed almost a year after the, okay? Or something. That is good. No, okay, you have something? Yes.
Yeah, that the height of the retaining wall be shown on the plans.
The details on that.
Sorry, that the plans show the height of the retaining walls.
Anything else? Okay.
So,
All right, I don't think we need a second.
yeah,
Do we?
additional
Okay.
motion, I made the motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I interrupted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I tried.
Motion for preliminary with conditions.
And we gave the conditions. Okay, now a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay,
There were some trees there
this is-
still.
214 South Boulevard.
They're not the size, the caliper.
Still should have left.
Mr. Chairman, I think you have to vote on that. I think there was a first and a second, but did everyone vote on preliminary?
We have
With
Mr.
condi-
Mandel
Seconded?
and,
Or-
and,
And then everyone has to vote on it. We need a majority vote as well.
yes, yes.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah, there was no disapproval. Okay, this is 2014 South Boulevard Site Plan, PV 25-39. Yes, sir.
Start reading, sir.
All right. Okay. Orangetown ZBA, Rick Oliver, dated March 16th. 6 comments. Orangetown BMA, Bruce Peters, April 13th, 8 comments. Orangetown Fire Prevention, March 30th, 1 comment. Orangetown Drainage Consultants, March 24th, approved with no comments. Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, dated March 30th, 2 comments. And I have 1 email from Jerry Lowett, dated April 12th.
Holloway.
Okay, and everything else was previously read in. Anything else, Audrey?
Yeah.
Just to read into the record the.
Yep, yep.
The resolution of approval that we received from.
I have a letter from Declan Zimmerman dated April 14th.
You
Okay.
gotta add what you said, the-
Andy?
you gotta add the,
You have the letter from.
gotta add the letter.
Yeah, the letter from, yeah, that has to be read in. The one we just discussed in the last.
Again?
Yep, we'll do it for each one.
Okay. And we also have a letter from the Village of South Nyack Planning Board, resolution of approval of grading plan and house location plan for final subdivision plat, which was dated September 8th, 2008, and signed August 19th, 2009. Any questions or comments?
I don't have anything right now.
Okay. Mike, questions or comments? Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay. Landscape plan, you're just showing what's there, or did you add? I think it's page 5. Just for clarification. Is this the current trees that are there now? There's no additional,
This is the lot that has the boat.
yes.
In the middle of it, and if you look, it's pretty,
Oh, it's a drop-off, yes. Whose boat is it?
That's all filled, right? Where the boat is?
I have no idea. I would assume, but, you know, I can't tell you that. We've never looked at it that closely. But like I said, this is the one with the boat right in the middle of it.
Okay. And this one, are you gonna be adding plantings in the front?
There are LG2s. You have 12 of them. You have DF.
Are you gonna add those, or?
That's all added. Anything
Then-
that bold is a new tree.
Okay, all right, so there's adding on that one, all right. Okay. Okay, again, looking at the map, the retaining wall on the east side of the structure, what, it says 3 feet on the plans, does it vary in height on the north and south sides?
Yeah, if you go to the grading plan sheet too, you have copper walls, and once again, it gets kind of busy. So it's kind
Yeah.
of put the bottom of the wall on the elevation, so the top and where the contour hits the wall would be that elevation.
So,
Right now- So right now, in spots, this wall goes from 4 feet to 13 feet over by the driveway side. So we have a little bit more of a dramatic drop.
okay, so we'd have to have that,
It's a variable height on the retaining wall.
right, so it'd have to be added to the plans, the heights,
No problem.
similar to the,
I'll do a separate sheet that'll just get, because it's too busy.
yeah, no, that would be fine.
All the details for that wall.
Yeah, that'd be fine. A separate sheet would make it very easily read and,
Not a problem.
okay. Do you have any idea yet on how much fill is gonna be put into that property, or?
No, I do not. I do not.
And again, there's no driveway on the opposite side?
As per the survey. there's no
Right.
driveway on the opposite side.
Yeah, if you could put it in, there's gotta be something over there. So we'll have to lawn, I know there's driveways.
You know, it is, you got the stairs, so if you look at the amount
Right.
of stairs going up,
Yeah.
it's tough to do a driveway. They show the driveway that's directly adjacent. And then I believe the lot to the north, the driveway comes in on the north side of the property approximately, as far
Yeah.
as I can remember, it comes around down to.
You know, I'm just looking at the opposite side, so there's no,
Like I said, I'm just looking at the staircase.
Yeah, I know.
So,
there's gotta be a driveway somewhere along the way.
you know, what it is, I think it comes in over here, but I'll
All right.
confirm the driveways, that's not.
All
a
right, yeah.
problem.
Yeah, that's all I have at this time, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
very much. Matt, questions or comments? Bruce, questions or comments?
Go back more on the house on this.
You can go back more, I don't know.
Unless you change your mind.
Yeah, that's it? Matt? Okay. Motion to open up to the public, first, anybody else? Andy, anything else? No. Mike? Motion to open public portion. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None, okay. Anybody from the public wish to speak on it? Yes, sir. Finish what you restarted.
Yes, that's my intention. Jerry Ilowite, ILOWITE, 558 Mountain View Avenue, Valley Cottage. So picking up, so you've seen the resolution of approval for the amended subdivision plan. There is drawings for that. I don't know whether you have those as well. You should have those. There are notes on that, those actual drawings as well. That, which was filed with the, as far as I know, was filed with the county. So you should take a look at those as well. As well, you already have my notes from both of these on, from July of last year. One of my particular concerns with stormwater management is particularly on these lots that are up on South Boulevard. They have dry wells, and then the dry wells have an overflow that comes out to a point source and a spreader.
Which is considered 214.
Right, so 214, right, has a dry well with an outlet. And I just want to make sure that, considering that we've had these 5-inch storms over the last year, if the dry well should fill and overflow, you're going to have a concentrated source of water coming down, and we should make sure that gets directed downhill into the public stormwater infrastructure and not into the backyard or basement of the properties down there. There are no dry wells on these anymore? On this lot? Okay, all right.
On any of the lots we're doing, there are no dry wells. This gets back into the fact that the storm drainage from these lots was accounted for in the basin. Right, and the reason for the conservation easements, right, was to allow the water to take a path, not be done. That's the only reason why I can. I wasn't the original designer. The resolution that you're reading in the 5 pages, the 15 conditions, the developer came in one shot to get all the lots graded off. That's why he did that plan. He had, I guess, a certain type of house he wanted to put in each one. That was his concept for the development. It's not necessarily this developer's concept for it. So, you know, it's tough to make something a guy did so he could go to the planning board once with the grading and then come back with the individual houses like it was in Akabor. That was the purpose of that plan, in my opinion.
Right, and so to that end, the idea that since it was pre-approved, I don't think there's really anything wrong with changing it as long as competent engineers review it specifically with respect to the approved plan, and then if they believe that that's okay, that the planning board note that and make a secret declaration in terms of that it is no worse than what had been previously approved.
Our drainage consultant has looked at the plan, drainage, and he has approved them.
But did he look at it specifically against the approved grading plan that's part of the subdivision? Because you're basically approving something that doesn't conform to the subdivision. Anyway, that's something that I think you guys should discuss, and I believe that that's a process you should be looking at.
Tell us about it.
Right, right. And on lot 214 specifically, I have something about on note 37 on the approved subdivision plat, sheet 1 states that the driveways for proposed lots 1 and 2 will be designed such that vehicles will not have to back out onto South Boulevard. Just want to make sure that that's conformed with. Okay. Tree preservation and tree bank. In part of the grading the subdivision plan, also proposed the idea of trying to preserve the wooded nature of the hillside. They established that there was going to be a tree bank, and then additional trees would be planted on each of the lots in order to try to maintain the wooded character of the, I'm going to run out of time here, but you should look at that, the principles of that. Should be doing that.
Anyone else who wishes to speak on 214? Okay, one more time. Anybody else wish to speak on this? Motion closed. Motion closed. Public forum. Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. We have stuff from South Nyack in respect to the change and what, anything else that this gentleman talked about?
I'm not sure. We have a bunch of things. Some things are not signed, some things appear in draft, some things appeared that they were never filed. It was literally thousands of pages, very difficult to go through. I think Audrey did a great job finding the relevant things. Audrey, do you have anything that answers to drainage from 16 years ago? And if we don't, there's nothing we can do. We can't compare against something we don't have. So if it's not before you, I would say it's a safe presumption that we don't have it.
No, we're not presuming anything. Just saying that if the paperwork is there, not, then we have to move in. I know, we're mandated, the applicant is mandated not to increase or runoff, if anything, to resolve some of the issues and hopefully mitigate some of them. And I think that's what the applicant is trying to do too. So, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we're talking about, instead of according to the plans, the conservation easements are they still intact to manage the stormwater? Or have people built on them?
Most of the conservation easements have been obliterated, either for the site, by topping the trees, or in some of the cases on the west side of the properties in Willow, they've been obliterated. Last meeting, I brought in a picture that showed the manhole cone was sticking out of the ground. That was a sewer easement behind the conservation easement. So they've made grass areas of a lot of the conservation easements that existed. The people who bought the homes along Willow. So,
Does that affect the stormwater runoff, or?
well, to me, the only thing is it probably makes it, now that they don't have the conservation easements, that probably the stormwater's gonna travel faster through their area.
More of a sheet flow then?
Yeah, you're gonna go from sheet flow to shallow concentrated flow.
Okay, now on this property, there's a conservation easement.
Yes.
Okay, then there's nothing planted on there apparently.
I believe it was stated that there was some required additional plantings in the conservation easements.
Yes.
So we'll look into that and we'll propose appropriate native trees within our areas of the conservation easements.
Okay,
Since we don't have rights to go on other people's.
right, that should be added,
To the landscaping plan.
right. And I would suggest you have that when you go to Akabor, and then you come back to us with that, so show it then.
So, in the conservation easements, there's people who, for lack of a better term, has destroyed that conservation easement.
I guess if I can just comment, we talked about obliterating and destroying. Conservation easements exist. They are there. The people did things to cut down trees. The conservation is still there. It belonged to South Nyack, and now it belongs to the town of Orangetown. So we can police that, and certainly any site plan that comes before this board with the conservation easement with all the trees cut down, this board has authority and can make them replant whatever you want to and put it back in the condition that it should be. And the building department, for those that are not before this board, we have certain rights as the town to go in and make sure that no one's building on a conservation easement and no one's cutting trees down, and if they did, they should be replanted and things like that. So the conservation easement,
Plant a 30-foot tree. That's the whole thing.
you can replant something though and
Right,
start to
yeah.
make amends for what happened. So the conservation easements are not obliterated. It's not as though they disappeared. I mean, they're still in existence and the town has control over. We have easement rights to those conservation easements. And certainly for the people coming in for the site plans, you definitely have authority to make them replant or do whatever you think is appropriate to put them in the position that they should be in.
That's where I was going with this, Rick, to see if we could send in code enforcement or whoever would be in charge of that to see what's happened and possibly rectify the problems.
Right. This planning board doesn't have any authority for anything that's not before it with a site plan, but certainly for these site plans themselves, if all the trees have been cut down by prior owners or other people, you can make these conservations, you can make that a condition of your approval.
From a brief reading of the South Nyack grading and drainage, I believe in the whole, it was an 18-lot subdivision originally, which now the applicant owns 13 lots. So I believe it was 80 trees. So I believe when you read it, he'll be obligated to plant roughly 4 trees per lot, per conservation easement. So I'm sure he won't have a problem to plant the 4 or 5 trees to cover the conservation easement within his property where he has the rights to do so. I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem.
I'm pretty sure Akabor will increase that load of vegetation too. was dated September 8th, 2008, and signed August 19th, 2009. Also, letter from Town of Orangetown, Department of ZBA. Rick Albert, I'm sorry, I just screwed up a second. March 16th, he has 2 comments. Orangetown DME, Bruce Peters, April 13th, 8 comments. Orangetown Fire, dated March 30th, no, 1 comment. Orangetown Drainage Consultant, March 24th, approval with no comments. Rock and Sewer District number 1, dated March 30th, with 2 comments. Good.
Also, separate sheet showing the retaining wall along the property that's close to feet. Also, a planting to the conservation easement. Sometime in the water.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? None? Okay. Okay, next is 19 College Avenue, site plan review, PB 25-40.
A small one, it's small one. This, college has a bigger conservation, but the trees are better in college, even though most of them have been topped. Yes, it did have yes, it had a piece that cut through the conservation on the northeast side of the property.
You want to go ahead and read it now, or you want to?
Go to it.
I have a letter from the Village of South Nyack Planning Board, resolution of approval of drainage plan and house location plan for final subdivision block dated September 8th, 2008, signed August 19th, 2009. I'm trying to understand, but that's what it is.
Could I ask just a technical question?
Sure.
Who were the board members in 2008, and when it was signed, who were the board members? Were they the same?
Well, I'm reading the exact same letter, so I'm assuming you had
I mean,
Mr. Mazer, Mr. Schwartz, Mr. Whitehurst, Mr. Kenya.
I mean, it'd take a whole year, get a whole year to... That makes us look good.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Where was I?
You're reading all
Oh,
propaganda.
okay, I read that in. Oh, I did, I read them all, didn't I?
No.
No. Oh, that's right, we're on a new one. So I read the resolution? Yes.
Yes.
I have a letter from Orangetown ZBA, Rick Oliver, dated March 18th, 6 comments. A letter Orangetown DME, Bruce Peters, April 13th, 10 comments. A letter from Orangetown Fire Prevention, March 30th, 3 comments. That's why I wanted to read them, keep them separate.
You're right.
Orangetown Drainage Consultant, March 24th, approval, no comments. Rockland County Department of Planning, April 3rd, remand for local decision. Rockland County Sewer District number 1, March 30th, 2 comments. Referral sheet from Rockland County Department of Planning dated March 13th with comments. Consent of lead agency sheet from Rockland County Planning Department dated March 13th, 2026. And I have an email from Jerry Lowett dated April 12th, 2000. And a letter from Dr. Patricia Burchill dated February 10th, 2026. Okay, this was good. Okay, any questions or comments?
Yeah, I do see that the conservation easement is much larger than the others. But I guess this is, let me see, the south side of the property doesn't show too many trees or anything. And the west side on the side of the house, which is very small, shows no trees at all. So we might want to add something, get some more trees on that conservation easement. I see you do have some plantings going on around the house, east and west side and north side. But, and you're taking three trees you're taking out, which isn't in the conservation easement, but, are all three of these maples?
One of them's a 14-inch dead tree. So
Okay.
I've been told the tree, I can't verify it,
Yeah.
but I've been told the
All
tree's dead. The other two are two maples, an 8-inch and an 18-inch maple.
Right.
And they're being taken out because they're affected by the grading, so we just figured they would.
Right, they would die
anyway,
anyhow,
so
yeah.
it's better to take them out now.
Maybe after you grade, you could replant. I mean, the 1 8-inch is pretty close to the house. But you might want to replant anything after the grading.
Yeah, we'll follow the landscaping plan and any recommendations of the board and ACA board, that's not a problem.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Okay, thank you very much. Mike, questions? I like the landscape plan, thank you for putting everything on.
There's finally some trees to show on the landscaping plan.
Okay, I would suggest he has some more plantings in the conservation easement.
Yep.
Now, the block retaining wall, page 6 and 7, indicates a 3-foot height, is this also?
It's a standard detail on that sheet, so
Yeah, so it's gonna vary in height then?
it's gonna vary in height, correct.
Okay, so can we get a separate
We'll,
sheet?
we'll do the same thing we're doing on the other two other two lots.
Okay. Okay. On the site plan shows the street layout. The overview shows the whole thing. However, there's no close-up of the site showing how wide the street is, the locations of the driveway and the opposite side of the street. Would you take a look at the fire department's comments number 2?
We did, but
It's gotta
like
be
I said,
20 feet.
it's an existing road. You know what I mean? This road existed before the subdivision did. So I understand the fire department's comments, but this is also a one-way road is from what the signage says out there. So we'll conform all that. That's not a problem. Because, once again, this curb exists. It's been there since they did the subdivision, assuming that South Nyack inspected it, because everything else in the subdivision looks like it's put together and put in rather well.
We're talking about the fire truck getting up there in case of a fire.
Well, like I said, I believe it's a one-way coming down the road. And the owner of tax lot 15 across the street has their trash bin out in the road, their garbage receptacle. So they're blocking a portion, they're blocking a portion of the roadway. But we'll get the width of the road on there and the driveway across the road, not a problem.
All right, it's gotta be shown, and it's wider than 20 feet. That's a steep hill, if they come up from Baracha, down the other way, if they come up from Baracha, they have to make that turn there, one way or the other, so,
Okay? No, not a problem,
okay.
not a problem.
And also show on there where the closest to fire hydrant is.
Yeah, the fire hydrant shown on the next one, it's right here at the intersection.
Okay. Look at this comment. Look at the fire department number 1's comment. That'd be how the hose can be dropped,
No, that's fine.
okay? It's not how the crow flies, but as the truck pulls and drops the hose, it's going up.
Understood. It's at the downhill side. The hydrant on the uphill side, we didn't locate because it's considerably off of what our property is. But we'll find them, not a problem.
No further comments this time, Thank you.
Matt,
Further comments?
nothing additional.
Okay, thank you. Bruce?
No.
Matt?
Motion open to public,
Motion open public portion.
second,
Second.
all in
favor? Opposed? None? Okay. Anybody wish to speak on this? This is for
This letter is
number
for this
19,
lot.
College
This
Avenue
letter
site
is for
plan.
this
Yes,
lot.
sir.
He didn't read it in.
Okay. Jerry Alloway, 558 Mountain View Avenue, Valley Cottage. Just continuing, I want to draw the board's attention to on that grading subdivision resolution, particularly items 5 and 6, because that does talk about the restoration of the conservation easements. The purpose of the conservation easements was to leave those sections to keep the hillside as the natural wooded area. Obviously, so much time has gone by now, and trees have died naturally and have been vandalized and cut down. So the idea is, the board, I believe, should look at the subdivision as a whole, take a look at what's needed to be done on each lot in order to preserve that and come up with a particular landscaping plan that addresses that issues. And then remember, that's for the whole subdivision, because there's plantings that are even for off the particular lots. For example, down below the detention basin along Riverview Avenue, plantings are supposed to be done there as well, if you look at the original subdivision. And I think that's it. Other than that, the notes that I had from my email back from July of last year, I think still remain. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sign in again, so we know that you spoke again.
Excuse me.
Anybody else?
Can I, one more comment? I just forgot.
Sure.
Okay, sorry, one last comment. There was an issue about measuring building height. South Nyack had an ordinance which basically said that building height would be measured from mid-grade to mid of a peaked roof, but based upon the, either the before grading or after grading, whichever was less. I'm not sure if that ordinance survived into the town code, but I think you need to take a careful look at how the building heights are measured for this particular subdivision based upon the conditions in the subdivision. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, me again, Maria Daggett, Daggett, Lowland Drive. So this one's in my backyard. And again, I'm going to ask that you really consider the people that live down the hill, because when this area was clear-cut, I don't know, almost 20 years ago, we lost 2 walls, a whole bunch of grading, and it cost my parents thousands to fix what that clear-cutting did on College. I am on lowland. Lowland meets Baraka and Terrace, and it is a very, very tight area. There are a lot of concerns for safety and accessibility, and again, water. You can't tell it where to go, and when you take away the natural resistance, that the water just goes. So please be considerate when you're thinking of the hundreds of people that are below every development that goes in. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Kathy Gallione, 234 South Boulevard. Wooded areas, no erosion, no flooding, big fan. I'm just supporting my neighbors here who are on the lower end with the proposed, potentially 4 lots that may be developed. That's a lot of stress on a mountain, and there's a lot of erosion and, and flooding and damage that can happen incidentally. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Please sign in again.
You think I know?
Good evening, Janine Martella, 242 South Boulevard, Martella. I've got tremendous concerns about the safety of the lots on College, especially with the fire department's access. We live above College Avenue, above Baracha, and not only is it concerning about the ways to get in and out of those streets are so winding and so tight, it's also the winds that come through. The winds that come through our lot at 242 are incredible during certain times of storms and preceding storms. I'm very concerned about the access to the roads and the potential for spread of fire, God forbid, they could not get through to those streets. And my other concern is obviously the erosion is a big part of it. We're above the lots. I'm also concerned about the wildlife. We have a tremendous amount of beautiful wildlife that come through our yard. There is at least 9 deer, including a gorgeous buck, that live there. There are families of fox that are born there and live and reside on our lot, and we love seeing them. The amount of eagles that come through is just tremendous right now. The American eagles are at a huge peak of rehabilitation, and I would be so concerned about losing all of that. It's such beautiful land, and it would be a grave sin if anything was destroyed in any capacity.
What street did you live on?
242 South Boulevard.
South Boulevard, okay, good. Anyone else? One more time, anyone else who wishes to speak on this? None, motion closed? Motion closed, public portion. Second?
Mr. Chairman?
Well,
Yes, sir.
we have a letter from a Patricia Burchell, which she states is 19 College Avenue. So I would think maybe you want to put it into this.
She's at 26 College Avenue. I was gonna put it in with the next one, which is 27.
Yeah, but if you look at the letter,
She references 19 on the bottom.
Okay, all right, then let me put it in there. Thank you very much, Mr. Bennett. I have a letter from a Patricia Burgell. She lives at 26 College Avenue. It was dated February 10th, 2026. Reference to College Avenue plans, 19 College Avenue. Okay, thank you, sir.
right?
Did you get you vote on that? Excuse me? Did you vote on that, Orchard? I don't think we voted. We voted.
Yes, we voted.
Public portion. Okay. Okay, motion for lead agent? Motion for lead agency. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion for neg deck? Motion for neg deck. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. A motion for, preliminary conditions? Motion for preliminary conditions. And conditions are favorite letter to the village of South Nyack, dated September 8th, 2008, signed August 19th, 2009. I have a letter from Orangetown ZBA, Rick Oliver, dated March 16th, 6 comments. I have a letter from Orangetown DME, Ruth Peters, April 13th, 9 comments. A letter from Orangetown Fire, dated March 30th, 2 comments. A letter from Orangetown Drainage, March 4th, approved with no comments. A letter from Orangetown Department of Planning, April 24th, remanded for local decision. I have a letter from Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, dated March 30th, 2 comments. A letter from Rockland County Center for Environmental Health, dated April 13th, 1 comment. Excuse me, referral sheet from Rockland County Department of Planning, dated March 13th. I have a consent relation sheet from Rockland County Department of Planning, dated March 13th. And additional comments.
Okay. A plan showing, a separate sheet showing the height of the retaining wall on the footage. The conservation easement, additional plantings on both sides of the conservation easement. Also, site plan showing the street layout from, I guess it would be from Baracha College Avenue going up the hill to the turn, showing, that would be past 19 and 27, I think. Would that be it? 19 and, that's the one up the hill, right? Yeah, the first, 19 is the one at the bottom of the hill?
19 is the one in the knuckle of the road.
Oh, at the knuckle, okay. Yeah, going past the knuckle of the road.
Yep.
So from Broch up past the knuckle in the road, showing the width of the driveway to conform with the fire department comments at 20 feet, and also showing the driveways. I think that's it. Thank you.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None? Okay. Next, 27 College Avenue, site plan, PB 25-41.
I will be consistent. Go.
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna start off with my favorite letter, Village of South Orangetown Planning Board, dated September 8th, signed August 19th, 2009. I have a letter from Orangetown ZBA, signed Rick Oliver, dated March 16th, with 6 comments. I have a letter from Orangetown DME, Bruce Peters, April 13th, 9 comments. Orangetown Fire Prevention, dated March 30th, 2 comments. Orangetown Drainage Consultant, March 24th, approved with no comments. I have a letter from Rockland County Department of Planning, dated April 24th, remand for local decision, no comments. I have a letter from Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, dated March 30th, 2 comments. I have a letter from Rockland County Center for Environmental Health, dated April 13th, 1 comment. I have a referral sheet from Rockland County Department of Planning, dated March 13th, with comments. I have a letter, consent, legal, lead agent sheet from Rockland County Department of Planning, dated March 13th. And I have a public comment email from Jerry Lip, dated April 12th, 2026. Okay. Andy, questions or comments?
I don't have anything there.
Okay, thank you. Mike, questions or comments?
What's the slope, with the grade on the driveway from Baracha to the house?
Garage to the house, the driveway's, if you look at it, it's probably about 7.5%. Up by the turnaround, it's much more flat. This right here is the steepest part of the driveway. So this is about 7%. Bruce Peters had asked for profiles of the driveway in his comment when I read it, so that'll be available on the next version of plans.
And block retaining wall, different heights?
We'll give you the sheet, just as the other application. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Here you got the conservation easement on the south side of the lot, and the trees are more intact in this area.
Right, is the area below the sewer easement?
Yes.
Okay. You take a look at that, see if we can add more to it, or for example, there.
Matt, nothing? Bruce? Matt? No? Okay, open up the public,
Motion open public portion.
second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, none. Anybody wish to speak on this project? Yes, sir.
Just 2 comments. I may have outdated plans, but I believe there's a sewer easement on 27 to benefit 19, is that correct? So is that shown properly on the 27 plan as well? And that's okay on there, fine. And the last comment is something I forgot from before, that I keep hearing about very tall retaining walls. I'm not sure there may be a requirement to put a fence on top of retaining walls that are over a certain height for safety.
Well, town has that ordinance, so if it is a certain height, then it.
Right, and so that should be shown on the plans then.
You will, when he comes in with the details, he'll show that.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on this? One more time, yes, ma'am.
Maria Daggett, again, Daggett, D-A, G-G-E-T-T. Water, traffic, not enough room. Oh, and the deer and the really nice animals. It's the same story. We're down low, and no one cares what happens to anybody down low. And it's very, very repetitive. Apologies. Thank you.
Anyone else? Ma'am.
Again, Janine Martella, 242 South Boulevard, South Nyack, Martella. Same concerns as 19 College Avenue. The roads are very, very tight and windy to get in and out of, even with a car. I cannot imagine fire trucks getting in and out of there. It's a terrible concern. We should not be worried about it. And again, the winds that come through that area on our lot, I'd be losing sleep if a house was built near my home. And I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think that putting a house that far out on College Avenue is the worst thing that we could have in our neighborhood. Again, for fire concerns, and again, for the wildlife that live there, there's a whole ecosystem that lives there that takes care of nature in itself, and this would be the worst thing for the environment. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Kathy Gallium, 234 South Boulevard. Thanks for listening to me tonight. I want to support both my neighbors, Maria and Janine, and their comments. I wanted to say this about an earlier parcel regarding the wildlife. You know, in my lifetime, there's been a giant resurgence of, you know, things that we never saw before. We never saw eagles. We never saw fox. We never saw turkeys, bear. All of that stuff in my lifetime has resurged. And because of our proximity to state and county parks and town parks, you know, they naturally gravitate down. And there's pockets of woods and land that they do settle in. And these are going to be threatened by the imminent development. So I wanted to point that out. You know, trying to keep pockets of biodiversity is going to be great for the entire community. So it also will help with deer strikes. When we have more land, when more land is available, we have less danger to traffic, people, et cetera. And it is tight down there. There's, Maria, I care. I care about flooding it at Lowland Drive. And I wave to your house every night, every day when I make that really hairy turn there. You got it. Sorry. Ooh, it's the end of a long night. Anyway, and I just want to support Janine and Maria, so thanks.
Okay, thank you. Sign again, please.
Got it.
This one thing I'd like the public to know, we did not subdivide this property, Orangetown. This was subdivided by South Nyack. We have now the problem of whatever the subdivision was, so, but, you know, we can't, it's already been done, so we are a little bit stuck on certain things, sorry to say. Thank you.
Motion for lead agent. Oh, close the public, motion to close the public portion. Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None, okay. Motion for lead agent. Motion for lead agent. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion for neg deck? Motion for neg declaration. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, motion for preliminary with conditions? Motion for preliminary with conditions. Usual little letter from the village?
Yeah.
Okay. The letter from Orangetown ZBA, Rick Oliver, March 16th, 6 comments. Letter from Orangetown DME, Bruce Peters, April 13th, 9 comments. Motion for Orangetown fire prevention, March 30th, 2 comments. Letter from Orangetown drainage consultant, March 24th, Rockland County Department of Planning, April 24th, demand for local decision, no comments. Letter from Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, dated March 30th, 2 comments. Letter from Rockland County Environmental Health, dated April 13th, 1 comment. I have a referral sheet from Rockland County Department of Planning, March 13th, with comments. I have a consent to lead agent, Rockland County Department of Planning, dated March 13th. Do I have a second?
Nope, we have another.
Go ahead.
Okay, again, with the retaining wall, the separate sheet showing the heights along it, and any additional plantings in the conservation area. All right, and the profile that's provided regarding the driveway will be provided as per the request of DEME. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? None. Yes, sir.
It's been a pleasure.
Most certainly is, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, I have.
By the way, you were supposed to abstain.
Thank you.
We have a letter from Nelson. It went beeping before. Nelson Pope Voorhees, March 17th, 2026. It's to lead agent coordination list attached. In respect to lead agent coordination request, Rockland County Trailway, Riverway Trails. Okay, I don't know, what do they want to do on this?
It's through, along the river, they just want to put a trail for biking, walking, hiking, all of that.
Okay, what do they need us for?
We got to,
Just gotta sign, just gotta say it's okay.
for comments and have no objection to them being lead agency.
They just want consent on the agency.
Except that they didn't give us all the paperwork. They never gave us the attachment that,
Yeah.
which they keep mentioning in the SCA, in the full environmental assessment form. They keep mentioning the, was it the EAF? Yeah. Excuse me, gentlemen.
Good night now, thank you.
Yeah, they mention it in numerous places in, they didn't give it to us, which makes it a little difficult to fully comment on the project, and they don't have it on their website either. It would be the, their attachment, their part one attachment, which they never gave, so. But I have one comment, I don't know about anybody else, but I have a comment.
Yeah, this one was emailed to everyone just because of how large the document is.
Right, but there's an attachment,
Hard copy provided.
there's an attachment that they didn't give us,
Right, the part one was not
Right.
given to us at all.
which they keep quoting in here, so it makes it difficult. If I have a comment I want to make on it, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman.
make a comment.
Okay, the AEAF in the box brief description of the proposed action states the project intends to improve safety and efficiency of both motorized and non-motorized transportation to better accommodate non-motorized users. Section D1J7 states in substance that access for the use of that the proposed action will include access for use of hybrid, electric, and alternative fuel vehicles. Use of these vehicles should be prohibited on all sections that cannot be used by motorized vehicles such as cars. To permit any alternative fueled vehicles, including electric bicycles, would contradict project description to better accommodate non-motorized uses and would endanger pedestrians. If one looks at New York City, prime example of pedestrians being struck by these types of motorized vehicles, and therefore they should be prohibited. That's my comment.
Anybody else? Okay. Motion close?
A motion for
Oh,
the
motion to approve,
comment.
Mr. Mandel's comments. Second. All in favor? Opposed? None. Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Motion, do we have any
No, wait,
minutes?
do we have any, we have minutes, don't we?
We have minutes.
Was it June, no, April first, no, can't be first,
March 25th.
March 25th.
Motion to approve minutes from March 25th, 2026.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Hurry up, we'll shut everything off.